I use the term moral choreography as an analogy for thinking about how we might be able to help managers better deal with the ethical challenges they face, how we might be able to equip them to bridge the responsibility gap. What I often say is that if dance were studied and approached the way we in business ethics have approached ethics in organizations, then what people would do would be to study dance injuries and trace them back to human biomechanics and gravitational forces. That's what we've done a really good job of in business ethics. We've shown how lapses in conduct can be traced back to the equivalent of human biomechanics, namely human psychological functioning, and the equivalent of gravitational forces, that is, social and contextual pressures. So too, if the normative side of business ethics if dance resembled the normative side of business ethics, then you would have people choreographing dances as though there weren't gravitational forces, or as though people weren't constrained by human anatomy. And what I suggest is that we may want to emulate dance. We may want to emulate choreographers, and that is to say, to start with the premise that there are these gravitational forces, there are these social and contextual limitations that individuals face, that there are the limitations of human biomechanics. Individuals aren't wired perfectly. And yet, how do we think of helping managers, and how do managers construct moves within those constraints? Now, they might not live up to the ideal choreography that we would have, but nonetheless, we can think of them as being equally creative, maybe equally inspiring, precisely because they have to maneuver within constraints. And so when I think of moral choreography, one, for me, it's just an image that rescues me from skepticism, that rescues me from saying, oh my God, look at all of these pressures that people face. How can they possibly rise to the challenge that they face with business ethics? And at the same time, I think it does give us a way of thinking about our work that says, okay, let's document how it is that individuals manage to meet their ethical challenges, even in the face of all of these constraining forces. And then what can we do in our work to give them guidelines, to give them a set of moves that would enable them to meet those challenges, even with the constraints that they face?